This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, baby. What about that intro?
I love that one.
It gets better and better every day.
There's a lot of feeling behind that. Have you noticed that? It's a lot of feeling.
Yeah.
A lot of whole situation. Jesus, I've been getting a lot of emails last night and this morning about what the hell did Ilhan Omar do now? Jesus, they're pissed off at her, man.
I'm not sure, actually.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of all the stuff that people are upset with her about. It feels like every day there's something.
What did she say?
She gave people want her to resign because she gave a speech in support of Somalia.
That's not at all what it said in the. It says in the newspaper.
Wow.
It said that you Americans are going to have to understand when my people get here, they're going to own the area where they live. They're going to make their own rules. My people are going to be a separate part of America. In other words, I don't want to take too much credit from 18, 20 years ago, but this is why we need to move toward one another, assimilate, and not against one another, destroy the world.
Yeah, she said it looks like she's quoted saying, "As Somalis, one day we will have to go after our missing territories."
In America?
Which, yeah, I'm not sure what territory she's talking about.
It's not a pleasant conversation. Where are you reading that from? The Star Tribune?
This is from the New York Post.
Oh, was that? So yeah, that at least has a chance of being honest.
Yeah, and like I'm all for, if you're Somali and those issues are important to you, but it seems a little weird as a Minnesotan that that's your main focus. But I don't know.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Why, when I do understand why we're separated and why we believe things, because from the moment you're born, you get bitched at about, you got to come over to this side, and that's all there is to it, and you got to believe what I believe, and if you don't, I hate you, and it's like, oh, Jesus. Like I said before, Gelfand's my friend, way far left. Mike Lindell's my friend, way far right. I don't care. If you want to be over the top about it, I can make up my own mind of what I believe in, right? I mean, Michael Gelfand and Mike... Everybody I know other than you two is named Mike. Why is that?
Yeah, there are a lot of Mikes because it's
unbelievable.
Who was Mike that was at the old studio that I can't remember his last name, but yeah, Mike that he was Italian, kind of a bigger dude.
Sansevier?
No.
Mike Sansevier. That's who it was.
Yeah, there's Mikes. I feel like everybody hire a Mike once a month. Who? God, I can't remember what his last name was.
His name was Mike, though?
Yeah, it was Michael. I don't know. He was like a young kid. He's probably my age.
God, I don't remember.
I don't know. But yeah, there's always Mikes hanging around.
There's always Mikes. Well, you got Mike. Just our advertisers on this show, looking at the list. You got Mike Bilski, Mike Lindell. You get on the list. Michael Bryant. I mean, it's unbelievable. All these Mikes running around, but... Yeah, I know. This is one of those situations where I wish that people would just calm down, move toward one another, not away. I know you're easier to control when you move away from one another, and that's what the government wants. That's what big business wants. They want us to be separate because we're much easier targets then. Mm-hmm. We need to come together, and I wish people would wake up and smell the coffee, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, right.
Just wake up, for Christ's sake. They're using you to make money. That's the only reason that the people on the right got so far right, the people on the left got so far left. It's because you were pushed that way, because they make a lot of money off of that because you will support anything they ask you to support. And that's on both sides, right?
Yeah, and my favorite is you'll see people that pay attention specifically to like American politics, and when somebody gets like worked up over a conflict overseas, they'll go, "Here's what you missed that happened at the White House while everybody was
right,
like over there." And it's like, there's a lot of stuff that gets used as distractions, and hey, we'll slide this through while nobody's really paying attention to us.
It's kind of interesting that there are a couple of people I know Dean Phillips. He's not one of my best friends or anything. I know him, and from what I know of him, he's a pretty decent guy. I don't know a whole lot about him and all the rest of it. There are some really decent people that could be put into office. I think that Mr. Kennedy would. The people not like him just because he's got that speech impediment? Is that why they don't like him?
Probably. They're like, even no matter how small it is, they'll point it out and they'll be like, I can't have somebody that can't even talk run the country. Like, okay, everybody calm down. A little bit of a speech impediment, not the end of the world.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. Why is it then that we stayed in radio for so long? Because radio management's always drunk, so you can't understand what they're saying anyway. I mean, what about that part of it?
Yeah, there is that. So would you rather have a drunk president or a speech impediment?
Yeah. Which one would you lean toward is what we want to know here today, ladies and gentlemen. No, it's I got to be honest. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but I've been working on something for a few weeks, just trying to set, like the next few years of my life. I've kind of plotted it out and planned it out and all the rest of it. And of course, the second I got it done and handed it over to the powers that be, they cannot agree whether I can do this or not. It's like, what? I spent months putting this together while talking to you. Why didn't you tell me that before?
Yeah, that's always tough to. Don't act like it's a surprise now when I've been communicating with you for however long.
Right.
That's the biggest part too. Like if you've been working essentially hand in hand with them, this should not be a shock.
Yeah.
No, but it always is.
Tell me at the beginning you think this isn't going to work out so we can address those issues, not put the whole thing together.
Absolutely. No question about it. There's a chunk of change that they're asking me about and blah, blah, blah. And they said, where did that money go? And I said, that was my federal and state taxes. You might want to check that before you ask me. Yeah, my last year's federal and state taxes. Well, where did that come from? Like, what? Pay attention. How about that? That's fair, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, why not?
Not exactly. So, look, I mean, it's just one of those situations where I will say, and I won't even use the word because for some reason people hate that word. I don't think it's a bad word at all. Because, again, growing up in a Catholic, Black, and Jewish neighborhood, we were taught that moving together was the way to go. And we all got along pretty damn well. I mean, there was nowhere near the violence back then that there is now. But, of course, as soon as the politicians stuck their beak in there, oh, he's a different sexuality. Oh, he's a different color. Oh, we got to. They're using your skin color, my skin color, our sexual orientation. They use it all against us. You do know that.
Yeah, and no matter what side of it you're on,
you're screwed.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody's going to find a way to say you're the devil.
Unless, of course, you can be one of those guys that donate billions of dollars to your that guy, what's his name? It Ken, somebody that gave billions of dollars to Harvard, and now he wants it back. Do you see that story?
No.
Woo! Well, they've got like $56 billion in the bank. Why do you keep giving a place money when they already got $56 billion in the bank?
Yeah, I'll be like, Harvard, you're good. How about you give me some money?
Exactly. How about you kicking back my way? Why do people are they buying influence? Is that what this is, you think? Somehow talking about because Harvard now, I don't know that you can use that in an argument because it's a filth hole now. I mean, it is. It's just a complete shithole now.
And it's Ken Griffin who you're talking about.
Ken Griffin, yeah.
He wants his money back. But yeah.
He wants his money back.
Yeah, but I'm sure they probably get their name on whatever new library or name this street after.
Yeah, well, that's true.
And it probably is because in that circle, if I know that, guy X donated $50 million, well, I'm going to donate $50 million in $1 to show him how I'm so much more rich.
Right. Than he is. So we'll all get through it. We'll all get by. We can all, I just, whatever the situation is. But we'll leave with this piece of advice. For younger people, the people your age, don't ever let anybody know how successful you are because they will try to burn you to the ground. Just keep it to yourself. Go, I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking. I could do better, but I'm doing okay. Mm-hmm. That's how you want to respond to anything that has that dollar sign in front of it. No, I'm trying the best I can. Sometimes it's harder than others, but I'm trying. Seriously, you just learned a very valuable lesson from Uncle Tommy. Should I call myself Uncle Tom in front of you? Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know.
I did say
like
Tommy, though.
Yeah, that term I feel like doesn't carry as much weight as it did back in the day.
I think you're right about that. We have to take a break. We come right back with Judd Zulgad from SKOR North, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, it's a new year, and why not treat yourself to a new gun from K&L Surplus and Ammo? I personally know Jim, the owner. He's been in the firearms business for over 15 years and knows how to set you up with a perfect firearm for your needs. K&L offers one of the widest selection of firearms in the region, including Beretta shotguns and Tikka rifles. High school trap teams are starting to form now, and K&L has a great selection of SKB shotguns. K&L has Tikka and SKB in both right and left-hand models. K&L also has a broad range of ammunition, including both American and European calibers. If you have a collection of guns that you'd like to sell, call Jim at K&L so he can help you get the best price through his network. K&L Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive in Lana Lakes and open Tuesday through Saturday. You can also visit them online at www.knlgunstore.com.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow. I like Mike. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. Thank you. They're having an overstock, clearance, and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers, 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 or go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
I like that. Boom. It's time for Judd Zulgad.
Sounds very ominous, right?
Really is ominous. There's no question.
Like, whew, what am I going to say that's going to like back up that?
It's going to have some weight to it. There's no question about it.
It really is.
I haven't even checked anything to do with sports this morning because I was dealing with some other stuff that people are psychopathic and, whenever I have to deal with, I was talking to my wife about this, and it's not some huge deal, but every time you sit down at night and you go, I'm going to go to bed, God, I got everything done, everything's where it's supposed to be, and then through the middle of the night, somebody decides, no, you didn't. Don't you just love that? It's like, oh, God.
It's just as you sit down on the couch to relax, your phone dings and ask for you.
It's exactly what happened, too. I sat down this morning. It's like, what? What are you talking about? So my life's going to be a thrill for about the next month or two, just dealing with things. It's going to be just fantastic.
Sounds really, really upbeat.
Yeah, it's really made me a happy guy, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah.
It's a good thing I'm not live in studio. That's all I'm saying. Being around other people right now is probably not a good. No, I know it's time for sports and all the rest of it, but this enters the sports world as well. Fine, yeah. The big money changed sports forever, correct?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Back to the days of, what was it, the late 70s, I believe, when the Astros made, at the time, Nolan Ryan, the first $1 million player a year, and we were all like, oh my gosh, $1 million. I
know.
And now that's basically that. No, it's not basically. It's the standard.
It kind of is now. There's no. Well, didn't they say the standard income now is approaching $80,000 a year? I believe that. I heard that. I think I heard that on the news this morning that the average income now is somewhere around $80,000 a year, and that's not enough to get through life. So that's really good news.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I think the average salary in baseball, I almost am certain now is in excess of $1 million a season, and that's for scrubs. That's
for everybody.
That's for like the 23rd guy sometimes and things like that. So yeah, it's remarkable. It's remarkable how it's changed, man.
No question about it. I used to love to hear about that, the almighty dollar, they used to call it, and boy, is it it's more true now than it's ever been. Everything else going well in the world for you?
Yeah, no complaints. No complaints. It was a slow day. We basically, so the Wild's on their bye week and All-Star break. The Wolves didn't play last night. The Twins made their trade of Polanco a couple of days ago, so things were quiet. But yeah, I have zero complaints about the world. I just try and stay home and duck as much as possible.
I like the world except for the human beings.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I stay home.
That's what I just stay home. I don't
that's
go
what
anywhere.
I'm saying. I stay home. And, you know what? I went out plenty in my day, and now I just stay home and try to avoid avoid life as much as possible, if that makes any sense.
I understand that completely. No question about it. So I haven't watched any sports recently since, of course, the football games on the weekend, and now we'll see how that should turn out to be a pretty good Super Bowl, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, seems like it.
I've always been on the side of I hate the fact that we have to wait 2 weeks, though.
I know. Yeah, I know.
It's never going to change. But
didn't that used to be for the Pro Bowl? That's why it was 2 weeks?
Yeah.
But they don't do the Pro Bowl anymore, do they?
Oh, right.
No, they used to have the Pro Bowl would be essentially this week.
Yes.
And then, the Super Bowl next week, but they moved the Pro Bowl to after, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, no, they don't do it now. They're on Sunday
all.
They're going to do skills competition and
but that's like considered their Pro Bowl now.
Yeah.
Like football game. Yeah. But it's
they name the teams and then they just do goofy stuff, which is fine. I never understood why they played that game. Like football is, if you're not going to go all out, what's the point of playing football?
Right.
And they shouldn't go all out. So I for a long time I said get rid of the game, but what I wondered was what are they going to do? Like, because I would have just named teams and called it a day. But of course, because of TV and the fact that people will watch anything related to football, including like flag football games, they did an extra thing. But they've been doing the week between or the 2 weeks for the Super Bowl for a long time now. That goes back a long time, and I wish they played the game.
Yeah, and with it being flag football, I think they should just take it one step further and get all the linemen, because linemen think that they can be skill position players too, and have a lineman version of the flag football game.
Oh my God, yes!
Like how cool would that be?
Yes.
It makes total sense to me. That's all I know. Yeah, I was never much of one for the Pro Bowl anyway. Unless somebody I really liked was in it. I suppose like a Chuck Foreman or somebody like that, I would watch it because Chuck was in it. I don't know if he ever was. I assume that he was because he was one of the greatest players ever. Yeah.
Well, and they used to actually, back then they played a semblance of the game more so. Like before they canceled it, it had gotten to be a complete joke. No one did anything, and
right.
I don't blame them. You just played an entire year. Now you play at least 17 games. So, but the only All-Star game that's left that's worth a damn at all is baseball.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, because even the NBA All-Star game is like all it is just showing off, pretty much.
That might be the worst. Like as bad as football is, the first 3 quarters, and they've changed it recently where it makes it a little bit more exciting. But for a while, it's just, hey, how many threes can we throw up from half court?
Hockey is awful too. It's now 4. It's now 4 teams split into 3-on-3, and again, nobody wants to play. Nobody checks and nobody plays defense at all. They're all three are those. The NBA and hockey are a complete waste of your time.
Yeah, no question about it. And you know what? I'm glad we're talking about this because nobody has the balls to say these All-Star games all suck, except for the baseball All-Star game. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, and Tom, to go back to the day, I mean, the baseball All-Star game used to be just great.
It was. Yep.
I mean, that was competitive. Those when the leagues didn't play and when players weren't friends, because now part of the problem now in all sports is guys are friends. They've in basketball they played AAU together. People in hockey cross paths. Baseball I'm sure is the same, but my God, when Pete Rose basically brought an end to Ray Fosse's career, what was that? The 1970 All-Star game at Cincinnati.
Yep.
Go back, you young guys on YouTube and watch that. He throws it's a collision at the plate. He throws basically a body block into Fosse.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
and didn't that like end his season and basically his career?
Yeah, it derailed his career. It derailed his entire career. But the point was back then, those All-Star games were great.
In an All-Star, he like just ran the catcher over.
Yep.
As if it were, that's wild.
Yeah.
Like you would never see that. You'd probably get thrown in prison today.
Oh, you would in a regular season game. If you did that in a playoff game, you'd get tossed.
Ugh.
Now, I'm glad that they have shifted away from, in the MLB, the All-Star game no longer is whatever league wins gets to host the World Series, because I always thought that rule was stupid. But I'm glad they do try. Like the pitchers go out there, they know they have an inning to just kind of throw their best stuff.
Yeah.
And whatever happens. But it's nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's just a situation where I don't know. Sports is different than it used to be. It's too much money involved now. Money is the thing that changed it all forever, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and now with gambling as well, where Vegas is the center of the sports world.
I just saw an article about Taylor Swift prop bets for the Super Bowl.
God.
Will she be shown during the Super Bowl?
I'm surprised it took so long.
Yeah,
for those to come out.
Will the MVP of the Super Bowl thank her in their post-game speech?
Oh my gosh!
We should do a Tom Barnard morning show, and the listeners can get involved with the whole thing. But the five of us, because we got to bring Phil into it too.
Yeah.
How long will the Kelce, Taylor Swift, whatever it is, relationship? How long will that last after the Super Bowl?
Do one of those like the baby boards.
Yes.
Where, like picks a date.
Yeah.
Pick the date when you kids break up forever. That is not going to last. I mean, give me a break. It's all to make more money yet again.
Well, if you think it is going to last, you can put some money down on it, because there was a will he propose to her after the Super Bowl? 8% chance of happening, because they said probably not going to do it if they lose.
Here's what so I thought at first it was a complete hoax. Now I don't think it's a complete hoax. But here's what I want to know from her fan base. Do you realize that and she is very talented, so I'll start there. But do you realize that if they get married, if they have kids, if she's happy, what's she going to write about? Her songwriting is based on, and I'm not saying that's not a female thing. A lot of males, when they get happy, who are really good, is she gonna write a children's album or something? Like her whole thing is based on breakups.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. There's this band that I enjoyed for a long time. It was like hit after hit, because this guy would get in relationships and then the girlfriend would leave, and it would just be okay, sweet, we got great music on the way. Now he's been in a stable relationship for 3 years, and all the music that's been released is just ugh. It's fine, but you're too happy.
You're too happy. I'm so happy. Are you happy too? You're talking about writer's block, baby.
Yeah.
One other question for you. How tall is Kelce? 6'5", 6'6", something like that?
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I'd say he's got to be right around that 6'5" range.
He's a big fella, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, both brothers are big.
Both brothers are big.
6'5".
6'5".
Nice.
Okay, you got a 6'5" guy who everybody knows he's a great player, makes a lot of money, and your fiance makes 50 times more than you do. Is he going to be able to deal with that?
I don't think he cares.
This is great, Tom.
You think?
This is a great question, and here's why. I feel like this goes back to some of relationships in the past. Case in point, Elliot Gould and Streisand.
Yes, right.
Do you remember?
Nice Jewish kids hooked
Yeah,
up.
yeah, but I mean, Gould was a big name, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Big time actor back then, and I think they got married, correct? I think they were married for a while.
I believe so, yeah.
But the point is, you're exactly right. She was worth probably 3 times what he was. And so that's long term, that's a great question, because short term, I think it's the buzz of you're in love or whatever.
Yes, right.
But when that wears off and you are, and this is true, I think, of relationships across the board, when one person is getting the attention like she does, and she deserves it. But I mean, he's going to be an ex-player soon.
Yeah, and I wonder what the end of his career, because of like Tom Brady and Giselle, that was kind of a point where it was like, Tom, you don't really need to keep playing. Your wife makes so much money, but he wanted to keep going. That could be something that Travis Kelce's having a hard time hanging it up.
Who would have thought the segment would turn into this? This is great.
I'm telling you, I'm putting my money on that thing will not last another year. No way.
I sort of hope it does now, and she does what Tevin says, which says, you know what? I mean, it's time. I mean, I got travel with me, blah blah blah, and then you run into the ultimate. Your identity is sort of lost.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be. I don't think it's an issue. Like, he seems like a guy that is very much embracing the. He's going to her concerts and shows, and he's not a very like, I have to be a manly man type of guy. Like, if you talk to listen to his podcast, the way he dresses, he's very much, it seems like, fine with who he is, and he doesn't really care. So I feel like,
what about when
the money aspect? I don't think it matters to him.
I think you're right now, Age, but I wonder if and when, like Tommy B said, when if she says, hey, we got more, I make more jing than anybody. Retire, or he's done playing. Like he still has himself to fall back on right now. I mean, he's a huge name. His team's going to the Super Bowl. He plays with Patrick Mahomes. It's the long play that now fascinates me.
There is something to be said, because once any athlete is done playing, there is kind of that identity crisis of, well, who am I now? What do I do now with my life after being, the football guy all my entire life? So when he's going through that, and now you're kind of just known as Taylor's boyfriend, that might be a tough thing to go
through. Mr. Swift. Hi, Mr. Swift.
Mr. Swift.
Maybe my memory serves me wrong, and I'm mistaken for his brother, but wasn't there talk almost before the season that he was thinking about, like, this maybe was the final season for him? So isn't he always already on like that? You know what? Maybe I'm retiring mind track.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. His brother, I think, is going to retire. I think he's trying to wait till after Travis is done playing to announce it officially.
Okay.
Jason. But yes, Travis is close. And I mean, if you look at the way he plays, he gets his ass kicked. Like, he's a great player, but he gets his. I mean, that's a brutal position.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think you've opened up a Pandora's box of like where this could go, and I love it.
I'm telling you, we guys look. I know we got to go, but I'll close with this. I know a guy that met this very beautiful woman, and they started dating, and then they got engaged, and then they got married. And at the wedding, several of the guy's friends came over and said, "She's beautiful. She's not going to stay with you, right?" So that was 43 years ago.
Yeah.
And that guy and woman are still together. It was predicted the day they got engaged that it would never last. So maybe it will.
What type of people come up to you at your wedding and say that?
You ever met my friends? They're from North Minneapolis. They say whatever they want.
Congratulations on your big day. This ain't got a chance.
Got no shot. Well, I will tell you one thing, and I know we're really up against it now, but I don't think I ever went to a wedding before I turned 26, 27, where there wasn't at least one fist fight at the reception. That's true.
A hell of a wedding.
When's the book coming out, Tom?
Everybody keeps talking to me about. If I ever wrote a book, I'm going to call it miasma. Do you know what miasma means?
No.
Okay, AJ, look it up. Miasma, M-I-A-S-M-A. what miasma is. That if I ever write a book, it's going to be called Miasma. You got it?
Yeah, miasma is a highly unpleasant or unhealthy smell or vapor.
There it is. Poisoned air.
Wow.
My book will be called, I don't think I'm ever going to write a book, but if I do, it will be called Poisoned Air.
Wow.
Because a lot of people think whenever I'm on the air, it is poison. So there you
It's
go.
a great word.
Miasma. It's
Sounds like
fantastic.
a band name.
Now watch somebody will name their kid that. Hey, Miasma Johnson. That sounds good. We'll call him
Not
that.
wrong.
Yeah,
All right.
that's all true. All right. Thank you, sir. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Yes, you will. See you
We'll
then.
take a
Bye.
break, be right back in a couple of minutes. Chris Egert will join us right after this, as a matter of fact. Let's take a second now to talk about my bank, North American Banking Company, Bilski. You've heard me talking about them for a long time now. When they opened in 1998, they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers, where you know your banker and they know you. Well, a lot has changed since 1998. This commitment to being a true community bank in the Twin Cities has not. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my bankers at North American Banking Company? Go to nabankco.com or stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC has a mutiny on his hands. His sales crew said they've had it brooming snow off the new Buicks and GMCs, then warm them up, move them to plow, and repark them again. He even overheard them cooking up an alternative plan. A sale.
This is crazy. Why don't we just mark them down and sell them?
This is getting real old to be out on that lot in this sub-zero weather.
That's right. Everyone we sell is one less to broom. I heard we're supposed to get 6 more inches tomorrow.
I'm 5'6". How am I supposed to get the snow off the roof of a pickup?
I'm Jim Paul, and while car dealers do have all kinds of crazy sales, this idea probably makes more sense than most. There's plenty of inventory, so okay, the crew has decided.
So then it's official. The We Don't Want to Broom snow sale is in full force at Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings. Snowy inventory priced real right at valleycardealers.com.
What do you think of that action, ladies and gentlemen? You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. Same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful. Someone you can trust who gets results. Results are very important. Well, I got a guy for you. His name is Josh Arnold, a good friend of mine. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608, or I'm telling you, you will be glad that you did. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk, of course. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. I'm Tom Barnard, and I am a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You are indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation. That number again, 952-925-5608. Mr. Egert, how are you? I got to tell you, it's kind of cool the way the world is now, because I've been out of town a lot, been doing a lot of traveling around mostly the eastern part of the United States. Because of the app system now, I can watch Channel 5 News wherever I am.
The beauty of the World Wide Web.
Yep, I'm telling you, I love to watch. I watch Channel 5 instead of watching the local news and whatever. I watch a little bit of it just to know, what's going on. But I watch Channel 5 every night at 6 and 10, unless, of course, I'm on the East Coast, and I watch it at 7 and 11.
You stick to your normal times.
I do indeed, but there were two female anchors at the 6 o'clock news. Is that always? There were 2 women. My old neighbor.
Who's your old neighbor?
She's on the 6 o'clock news every night.
Lindsay?
No, not Lindsay.
Or no, Leah. Never. Leah's your old neighbor.
Leah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Very good. She's a very pleasant person. She was very smart, though, because whenever I'd be out for a walk and she was out for a run, she would kind of widen the angle to get around me. It's like, I don't want to be anywhere near him.
I mean, you for sure. You don't want to.
I understand that completely. But yeah, there was another woman on there with her last night. I don't know her. They didn't say her name, but I don't know who it would have been.
I'm not sure. I was at basketball last night. I was not watching the early news, so I'm not sure who was there.
Who's basketball?
Hopkins and Minnetonka played last night. Battle of number 1 and number 2.
Yeah.
And my Skips got beat. We were number 1, but Hopkins is a legacy. They're good. They are always good. So
look at Tevin smiling. That's because they have more black people in Hopkins.
I couldn't tell you anything about sports, but yeah. Once I just smiled because Chris's team lost, so that's really why.
That's exactly why it was.
and I was hoping maybe it was Chris was playing basketball, like a wheelchair basketball game or something. Do you go?
Oh, that's nice.
That's if I were you, Chris. Like I would play wheelchair basketball and just clean house because I'm sure you still got the jump shot.
I've thought about it. In fact, there's a wheelchair basketball, charity wheelchair basketball game coming up next month, beginning of March, that I'm going to do, which I'm really looking forward to. But I've still got a pretty good reach and with the chair but I don't know. It's hard. I don't know if you've ever sat in a wheelchair and tried to like go down a basketball court.
Oh God, it's hard. It is hard. I did it one time. I played in a wheelchair basketball game, and if people think that's easy, you're wrong. It is not easy.
You got to have some gas in the tank for when you actually get down to the end so you can get a shot off.
I'd be so exhausted from wheeling myself down.
It's true.
I mean, I can't. You want me to shoot now too?
Yeah, I need to get the ball up if I was right underneath it. I don't know.
I understand completely, but so number 2 beat number 1. That's pretty cool though. To be number 1 in the area, don't you think?
Yeah, it was a packed house. It was a fun game. But so I did not watch the news, but I did watch the news this morning because I was doing the news this morning. So
who shot who now in which suburb? I want to hear about it because every day it is now. Every day.
That wasn't our top story today, but it was a continuation of what had been something we've been covering for several weeks, which is that big homeless encampment in South Minneapolis that they moved, and now they're clearing it out again because there's continued health and safety concerns. And it's an unfortunate situation where there's not enough affordable housing and there's not places for everybody to go.
Yeah, but that's not the real reason for it. The real reason for it is drug addiction. And that's fact.
That's definitely one of the, things that people will point to as why some of these folks don't go the more traditional route to find, housing. But is that issue ever going to end? No, because it's not. But so they're cleared out another one of that encampment in South Minneapolis. That was our big story.
Right.
And then another day of something else probably being canceled because of the warm weather. So that's the Birkebeiner up in
oh no,
where is it? Hayward.
Yeah.
That's probably going to get they're trying to hold out. They need to wait about another week or a week and a half before they cancel it for sure. But they're already kind of signaling that they're going to cancel it because
was the high yesterday 52? That's what I heard.
Yesterday it was cooler. Monday was warmer.
Oh, Monday was the one.
Monday was a record setter, and then I think it was like 51. And then today we're supposed to set a record as well. So.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Pretty interesting. That only happened to me one time that I can remember. It was like 30 years ago or 28 years ago or something. And I don't think it was this. I mean, these are record-setting temperatures, so it couldn't have been as warm as this one. Because they're setting records pretty much almost every day, aren't they?
Yesterday, no, because just is a little bit cooler, but
right.
Yeah, and then I think things are going to level off a little bit, but there's still nothing pending in the 2 week forecast out. It doesn't really look like much is happening.
So. Right.
I saw a guy wearing shorts yesterday.
Oh, hell yes.
Just casually walking around in shorts.
I saw a guy wearing shorts walking into the building today.
Yeah. It's ridiculous how warm it is here.
But I got to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Are they usually bigger guys that are wearing shorts?
Oh, yeah.
Because I will tell you, I have very big, very strong legs. I could wear bikini shorts and my legs would not get cold. They just do not get cold.
Thank you for
Let's
that.
pump
Hey, shut up. I know you're picking
the brakes on the bikini
Okay,
shorts there,
all right.
Tommy.
Okay, we'll just. I know I couldn't possibly fit into a bikini because of that area in front. It just wouldn't squeeze in there. So that's what we're talking about. Is that what you're referring to?
Thank God this is a radio show.
Well, not really, because we're still on screen.
That's true.
All right, move ahead with your garbage. I'm sick to death of you.
Yeah, Tom, I'm with you. I do know. I see a tendency of big guys having the shorts, but I too will rock the shorts look mainly as much of the year as I can.
Yep.
But I also have one leg that doesn't get cold, so there's also that.
Unless it's cold to the touch, though.
I mean, kind of, but it's all covered up with prosthetic and stuff.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Hey, I'm glad it all worked out in the end for you. That's all I have to say.
It's worked out real great.
I mean, that makes sense to you, doesn't it, that it all worked out in the end?
Yep.
You're just looking at me like, shut up, Tom. Go away. I'm sorry. I'll look down. You're right. It is time to go away. So you don't have to put up with me at all for the next 23 hours and 50 minutes.
I'm just going to be thinking about you in that bikini bottom.
Let me ask you, the one time I did do it, I know that a couple of people walked by me on the street and they said, why would he have a cantaloupe in his underwear? And I heard it. And I said, what?
Oy vey.
I just don't understand how you guys just can't see clearly that this is
more like
true.
one of those giant kibasas. Just
so he goes. All right, it is time to go now. Though, before we ruin your career,
day, you guys.
My career is already ruined, so now we're going to ruin yours. Is that what you're saying?
Enough.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Chris Egert, ladies and gentlemen. Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. We shall take a break here. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Dave Bielke will join us right after this.
Tom here, and I want to discuss a partnership that has been wonderful in my life, Zero Res Carpet Care. Very good friends of mine. Nothing is better to someone with a family than having a completely clean home. Your carpet is the biggest filter in your house. If you want to talk about pet dander or foot traffic, dirt from the outside, they all eventually reside in your carpet. So, Zero Res Carpet Care. Listen, around the holidays, you need to contact ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 952-ZEROREZ. That's 952-ZERO-RES. They clean your home with their electrolyzed pH-elevated water that doesn't use chemicals or soaps that smell like a janitor's closet like other cleaning services. How about a Tom Barnard deal? Well, here it is. Get 3 rooms, zero resified, starting at $129, and don't forget your air ducts. Mention me, and they'll discount your air vents by $75 too. This is for the entire month, so call them right now, 952-0-RES, backward or forwarded, spells the same, or book online, ZeroResMinnesota.com. If it's available, ask for them to come to your place in the Tom Barnard named service truck. What an honor that was, by the way. Just mention me by name and get the special deal to get your home clean and your heart happy. Zero Res Carpet.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit BialkeLaw.com. That's BIALKE Law.com.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did, and tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Woo! What do you think of that?
Back and better than ever.
Absolutely.
Back and better than ever, ladies and gentlemen. Is Dave ready to go?
He is.
Excellent, ladies and gentlemen. On the phone joining us now live, Dave Bialke, brought to you by Bialke Law Firm. Heard at work. Dave Bialke goes to work for you, taking care of your workers' comp injury claims and denials. Call 763-571-2410 or go to bialkelaw.com. Tell them that Tom sent you. Dave Bialke, how you doing, sir?
Good morning. I'm doing really well, Bob. Tom, sorry about that. I was wrong podcast.
No, I understand. I sound exactly like Sansevier, and of course I wear a hat.
Just like peas in a pod, yes.
Yeah, I wear a hat and a shirt and pants that have my name on it, just like he does. You know.
Tom, it's an interesting day today. It's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And I'm doing something that I've never done, at least in Minnesota, on my birthday before. I'm up there a few years, and you think you've done pretty much everything. I'm going to go out golfing on my birthday in Minnesota.
That's the first ever, baby.
That's the first ever. It's a year. We're still in January, and it's projected high of 52, and they opened this course up by Maple Plain that one of my friends found. And so we got to support them at 11 o'clock, and we're going to go and golf in Minnesota in January.
I've never done it.
I've never done it either. This is going to be a birthday to remember.
No, quite. It was Francine Nanny's birthday yesterday, so now you mentioned today's your birthday. One thing and I understand people are trying to, make you feel better and try to brighten your day and blah, blah, blah. So we're talking about, it's Francine Nanny's birthday yesterday. It's your birthday today. We got some other birthdays coming up. Then, of course, one of the people said, God, can you believe your brother Troy died almost 4 years ago? I'm like, I thought we were talking about birthdays here. Why do you have to bring that up?
I mean, you're always going to remember it, but it doesn't need to be brought to the forefront just because someone mentions it. Yeah,
we're talking about happiness like birthdays here, not that 54-year-old guy dropping dead, for Christ's sake. Mm-hmm. It's too bad you guys never met Troy. You'd love him. But Tevin, you must have met Troy, didn't you? Did you ever meet my brother Troy?
Nope, I never did.
Never did, huh? He's a hell of a guy. Very, very funny guy. No question about it. Anyway, let's get back to the fact that it's your birthday. So what are you going to do on your birthday?
Well, after golf, I run home, and then my wife figured out some dinner at some, I don't even remember the name of it. It's not Spoon and Stable, but it's one of those ones in the North Loop, those kind of fancy restaurants that you go on a special occasion. Mm-hmm. She's got us reservations there, and that's how we end the day.
Well, so that'll be good. What kind of food do they serve?
I don't know. I just know she made the reservation, and I'm not going to say, I'm not sure if I like that food. I just roll with it. She's made it, and we go from there.
I got to tell you, though, that North Loop is one of my favorite places to eat now. There's a lot of really, really good places there.
Yeah, very. It's just it's got a personality there. It's not a suburban place where they all look, they're kind of the same area. So we've been there a number of times. I like the area a lot. So if you said the name of the restaurant, I'd know it, but I just can't recall right now. But it's one of those really eclectic places, like Spoon and Stable is the one that comes to mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Gavin Kaysen, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There you have it. Okay, so you get to play golf on your birthday. I don't. I was born on November 7th, so I must have played golf on my birthday because we've had some warmer Novembers, but I don't ever remember playing on my birthday. I don't think so.
I've played a handful of times in November when a day gets like this. Not very often, but a handful of times. But this one is just so unique. I couldn't pass it up. Yeah, that's 52 degrees, supposed to be sunny all day. It's actually going to be, I would think, quite comfortable.
Are you going to walk it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll love it.
I typically, unless there's like tournament or something like that, I always walk anyway. But it's a walk only. It's a shotgun start because there's only so much time right in the middle of the day where it's warmer.
Yeah.
So it's a shotgun start, and it's walking only. I think that otherwise they can. People can really damage the course with carts.
Now, as long as we're talking golf and have Dave Bialke with us, I can tie him together by saying, not once but twice, I was hit by a ball while playing golf. You ever been hit by somebody else's drive?
Yes, but it wasn't. I wasn't golfing. I live on a golf course.
Oh,
we were walking to the clubhouse, and so we kind of, from where we live, we have to cut across to the number 9 fairway and then the number 1 fairway to get to the clubhouse. And we were going to meet some friends there, and so I wait till it's clear, and then we cut across it, and then so we're walking along the first the first hole, and it's a par 5, so everyone's winding up, and this is a year ago, and I got hit in my upper arm, and it left a welt that, oh my God, did that thing hurt. But the only thing that came to my mind after that was, we got to be more careful, because if that hit me in the head, I'd probably be, I'd be underground right now. I mean, you're hit on the fly from a drive. I think I was 200 yards out from the tee, so that thing was going on the fly and hit me in the upper arm, and like I said, the welt on that, it looked like I'd been run through the ringer. So it was. So yes, I've been hit by a golf ball. I was not playing, but it made me respect how much that can, if you get hit in that type of deal, how much that can hurt you.
Okay, so now I'm on the golf course. Guy tees off. His tee ball hits me right in the chest. Do I call Dave Bialke and go, Dave, I can't breathe? What do you think?
Well, were you working in some manner? I mean, was it something connected to your employment?
Yes, there were. I took clients out to golf, as a matter of fact. Yep.
Okay, well then it'd probably be work related.
See?
Whether you have a separate claim against him, I don't know. That's out of my area. You got to talk to Mike Bryan on that. But,
yeah, there you go.
But the work comp part of it, yes. If you were out there, for furthering your business or your own business, or employed for someone else, and you're furthering your business to the benefit of the business, it would be work comp. So, if it hits you in the arm, well, like me, there's nothing. It didn't miss any work and no medical treatment. But if it hits somewhere else, you're going to be happy to have workers comp.
Okay, so I've been hit in the chest by somebody else. I was hitting my left leg by somebody else. But the best one of all, I'm on number 9 at Fox Hollow. You ever played Fox Hollow? Any of you guys?
I have, yes. Mm-hmm.
Very nice golf course. I used to live up in that area, up in Dayton. And we're playing golf, and I had a terrible drive. It wasn't really a shank, but I hit it way too far right. So I had to walk up on it, and I had an open area to the green. I could hit it to the green, but I'd have to get up very quickly because there was a fence in front of me. It was one of those, board fences, not a metal fence. It was a board fence. And I said, well, it's not a problem. I'll just use a little extra loft. I'll get it over that, get it up either on the green or somewhere near the green. And, of course, because I was nosy while swinging at the ball, while trying to hit it over a fence, I hit a little close to the top of the ball. It hit the fence, came back, and hit me dead square right in the chest. So I did it to myself, too. So for that one, I can't call you then and go, Dave, I just hit myself. Can I sue myself?
You probably couldn't. I thought you were going to say something. I thought you were going to say something more like the old Judge Schmales thing. Remember on Caddyshack when the ball comes back, you hit them right in the nuts.
Yup. Yes, I do remember that. That's still one of my favorite movies.
The story was headed.
I love that story. So, I mean, I still will say this, and I bring it up to Dave once in a while. Where I grew up, And I'm hoping the times have changed now. But when I grew up, all the guys, particularly teenage guys, say they just started working. They're 18, 19 years old, maybe 20 now. And they would somehow, because it does happen more than people think, people get hurt at work, right? But my friends all decided they were far too tough a guy to try to go after somebody because their machinery or whatever it was failed and hurt them. They wouldn't do it. That's not a very prudent thing to do. I mean, obviously, it's not like you're trying to go after somebody for no reason. You got hurt, and it was somebody else's fault. Young men, do young men still have that proclivity to lean away from recovering because there's too big a men?
They really do.
Yeah.
And I'm sensitive to that because, I can't just be the one, you got to do this, you got to do this. So I'm sensitive to what they're feeling. And I just try to guide them through that. This is what the future is looking like. You've got to take care of yourself. And, I've seen it so many times where, I like my employer. Well, I'm sure he does. You do. And that's good. He probably likes you too, but it's the cost of doing business, your workers' comp insurance. And it's no different than any other type of insurance. When there's a legitimate claim against it, you got to make the claim. And otherwise, if you blow a statute of limitations or a notice requirement, then it's gone forever, and then you can regret it. So.
Yeah, and I just pictured that in my head because particularly where I grew up, young men, particularly teenage men, like say 16, 17, 18, or let's say 17, 18, 19, if they were hurt, they would never admit it. But that's not too wise. I mean, because it could carry on depends on where you were hit. But yeah, I mean, this is not like you're going after somebody for no reason. You got hurt and you deserve to be taken care of, correct?
Yes, it's a no-fault system.
Right.
The whole system is set up as no fault. It doesn't matter whose fault it is or whose majority fault or whatever. We never have those discussions because the law is set up as a no-fault system. So if you get hurt at work, regardless of who's at fault, you get the benefits. That's what the law is. So you may as well take advantage of what the law is.
See, I'm glad we got into that subject because I bet you that 99% of young people do not even know that's true.
Yeah, and they can get intimidated by their employer, and so that I have to chat with them about that. But frequently it's the parents, are urging them to take care of themselves, and he's like, "Dad, I got this." I'm sensitive. I don't run in there and just say, "You got to do this, you got to do this." But I say, "This is my recommendation." I give the reasons for it, and I say, I think you should make a better decision on this. If you do, I'm here to help you. If you don't, well, I wish you the best on this, but hopefully it doesn't turn sour for you.
There you go. We got AJ, we got Tevin, a couple of young guys. The best advice I could give you is, I don't want to do that, Tom. My response to you would be, yeah, well, they do it to you. I guarantee you that.
Oh yeah.
He goes, oh, yeah. No. So, yeah, don't even worry about it. Look, if you got hurt at work, it wasn't your fault. You deserve compensation for that, and it's not even an argument. Correct, Dave?
It's the law. It's not even an argument.
Right.
If you were injured, the only arguments is the extent of the injury or sometimes whether the injury actually occurred. But, if you did get hurt, yes, the law is you get benefits, and that's what I help people do.
I think it's a wonderful thing. I will talk to you next week, sir.
Yep.
Looking forward to it.
I'll let you know how the round went.
Yeah, I want to know next week how that round, and do not lie because I will track it down. I don't even know the name of the golf course you're playing, but I'll find out.
It's Pioneer Creek.
Pine Creek. Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, I've never been there before. So he found it that they are opening for 2 days. So we're at it.
Opening for 2. Hey, a little January revenue. Nothing wrong with that, man. No question. Well, thank you, sir. I'll talk to you next week. How did I know my phone was going to start ringing? I looked at my phone and went, oh, my God, my phone's in here. It's going to ring. And it did. It started ringing. I can't say this. On the phone joining us now live, Dave Bialke, because it wasn't him calling me back. Dave Bialke brought to you by Bialke Law Firm. Heard at work? Dave Bialke goes to work for you, taking care of your workers' comp injury claims and denials. Call 763-571-2410 or go to BIALKElaw.com. Tell them that Tom sent you. We'll take a break, be right back. A little news and information up right after this. Kristyn Burtt, quarter after. Got a lot of great stuff coming up right after this. Hey, it's a new year. Why not treat yourself to a new gun from K&L Surplus and Ammo? I personally know Jim, the owner.
And I'm not making that up. He's a great guy. First of all, I don't do commercials for people I don't like. So there you go. But Jim's a great guy. He's been in the firearms business for over 15 years and knows how to set you up with the perfect firearm for your needs. KNL offers one of the widest selection of firearms in the region, including Beretta shotguns, Antica rifles. High school trap teams are starting to form now, and KNL has a great selection of SKB shotguns. KNL has Tika and SKB both in right and left-hand models. KNL also has a broad range of ammunition, including both American and European calibers. If you have a collection of guns that you'd like to sell, call Jim at KNL so he can help you get the best price through his network. KNL Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive in Lina Lakes and open Tuesday through Saturday. You can also visit them online, www.klgunstore.com.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take personal care dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to Me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender. You know the song Kokomo? It's supposed to be off the Florida Keys, right? Hate to break your Beach Boys bubble, but that's a fictitious place they made up for the song. Fortunately for the rest of us, the Florida Keys island chain are as real as the taxes you have to pay in Minnesota if you're a resident. Now that's a reason to move south. In addition to Florida and all of Monroe County being beautiful, the Keys from Key Largo to Key West are even more beautiful. This is Tom Barnard, part-time Florida resident myself. And if you want a second house or a new retirement home or want to become a Floridian, may I suggest you contact Matt Carlson from One Key West Realty. Matt grew up in Litchfield. He's a super real estate agent when it comes to finding your tropical island space in the Keys. He lives there and here, and Matt knows what's best in Key West to buy for your second home in Florida. Matt teamed up with fellow Minnesotan from Sartell and Alexandria, Kristen Eklund, who's one of the top mortgage brokers in the country from Coast to Coast Mortgage. She'll get you the financing you need to buy a home in Florida or in Minnesota. Matt's part of the Lake Sotheby's International Realty Group here in Minnesota, and Kristen, his mortgage colleague, lives and works in the Keys, so they both know the Florida Keys' new and existing homes for sale and are Minnesotan through and through. Contact them by heading to onekeywest.com. That's onekeywest.com.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
And don't you forget it. I should probably not put it that way. Don't you forget it. That's too harsh.
I like that. Don't you forget it.
So it's not too harsh.
No,
I'm glad to hear that.
It goes with the aggressive re-entry.
It does indeed. There's no question about that. Dry January ends tonight at midnight, 12:01, I suppose, actually. But is it midnight or is it 12:01? Is midnight the end of the day? Or is it the beginning of a new day?
Midnight's the beginning of a new day. Yeah. So it'd be technically 11:59.
11:59, something like that.
Yeah, but who cares?
Well, no, this stuff's pretty interesting. Now, the reason I even bring that up, Dry January ends tonight. The healthiest alcoholic drinks, I have not looked at the story. Do you have a guess? What would be the healthiest alcoholic drink?
I'm going to guess tequila.
Tequila? AJ?
Ooh. See, I was trying to think what's White Claws? Aren't those like pretty?
Oh yeah, seltzers. I bet probably
like a
healthy.
seltzer. But I didn't think about your track of a vodka or a tequila might be there too. I know rums are usually like very heavy in sugar. So
yeah.
See, there you go. I would go with beer, but I don't know. These are the healthiest alcoholic drinks. Okay. So we got tequila. What did you go with, AJ?
Like a seltzer, like a White Claw.
A White Claw, okay. And then I went with beer. I'm clicking on the story right now. Here's the facts. Well, according to the news business, the facts.
Okay.
How's your dry January going? The good news is it's either over tomorrow or you already started drinking again, but that doesn't mean you can't keep looking for healthier ways to drink. A dietitian broke down the two biggest tips when it comes to choosing a healthier beverage. Always be looking for drinks that are lower in sugar and higher in healthy ingredients. Here are some of the healthiest types of alcoholic drinks. Number 4, a hot toddy. That's a hot water, fresh lemon juice, honey, whiskey.
Yeah.
It's about as healthy as it gets. So you agree with? I've never had one. You ever had one?
I've heard of those,
but it's essentially like tea with a shot of whiskey in it.
Oh, it is. Okay. Bloody Marys. Tomato juice typically doesn't have a lot of sugar. Plus, what other alcoholic drink comes with celery? Would you agree, Bloody Mary also? Yeah, I suppose.
I would, but I also want to time out for anybody out there who's thinking to go get the ones that have the
burger.
It's got a burger and a slice of like a bacon strip in there, and it's got
what?
Pickle. Yes, they load these things up now, Tom.
I don't like tomato juice, so I never would order a Bloody Mary, but I would order one just for the burger and the whatever that they'll garnish it with. Some of them will put wings in them. Like it's a whole.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. It's funny you bring that up because I don't like tomato juice either. There's this finishing thing when you drink tomato juice.
Mm-hmm. Like
it finishes
really.
Yeah, kind of like a tang, and I don't like that. It's like, it's okay, I guess.
I used to not like it as much. I'm slowly coming around on it. Slowly.
Yeah, maybe I will eventually someday. Red wine, it's chock full of antioxidants, which can reduce inflammation and help prevent cancer and heart disease. Yeah, I probably should have gone with wine instead of beer, I would think.
Yeah, the second I didn't say wine, I was like, that's probably going to be the list.
I drink zero wine, so that didn't even come to mind.
But you know what? Somebody won it all. They won the whole ticket because number one is hard seltzers.
There we go, AJ.
AJ, he wins. Once again, ladies and gentlemen. Most are just sparkling water with a clear liquor like tequila or vodka, which you already said it's tequila or vodka. Just one, look for ones with no added sugar. So hard seltzers, number one, red wine, number two, Bloody Marys, number three, hot toddies, number four. I used to drink, I've never had a hard seltzer because it came along after I quit drinking.
I mean, it's like a LaCroix with your whatever, if it's tequila or vodka.
Some booze in it.
Yeah, in it. So
high noons I've been kind of swinging towards recently because it's a little more.
Yeah.
It's like with LaCroix. I don't know even how to say it.
LaCroix. I like that.
The flavor is so it's there, but it's like TV static there. If that makes sense.
Yep.
The high noon, it's like they use real fruit juice, I guess, and maybe that helps, maybe it doesn't. I don't know, but it's a little more prominent, and I feel like it's a little easier to drink. So
yeah, especially in the summer.
Yeah, absolutely.
You were right, though. Hard seltzers would number one. I would have thought there would be a lot of sugar in hard seltzers, but there isn't.
I don't think so. I think it depends on what they are aiming for. Like these, they just kind of it's sparkling water. They put a little alcohol in it, and then they try to get a little bit of flavor, but not a lot.
Yeah, and there are some where they're more like drinking juice.
Yeah,
but for the most part, they try to be, because that was their whole pitch. Was originally to middle-aged women, here you can drink this without feeling like you're going to gain a bunch of weight or anything like that.
Yeah,
makes total sense. A new month is right around the corner. Yeah, it starts tomorrow, as a matter of fact. That is right around the corner. But first, let's take a quick look back at January of 2024. Google Trends put out a list of the top who, what, where, when, and why questions America Googled this month. The top search for if it goes for each month, I'm not going to do 12. Oh, there's 5 top ones. Good. Because I'm not going with 12. No. Number 5, why did Justin and Jessica split? Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel, they briefly I cannot believe I'm reading this bullshit on the air.
I didn't even know they were together.
I didn't either.
I thought that was. Is this a trend search from 2012?
Right.
Is this recent news for them?
I was like, Justin and Jessica Simpson, they were together? What?
Jessica Biel.
Yeah. No, I didn't even know what Jessica they were talking about.
Yeah, there you go. They briefly stopped dating way back in 2011, and rumors swirled that they might split up again after 10-plus years of marriage. But she was with him at SNL last weekend, so that kind of put those rumors to bed for now. So basically, they didn't split up. People just thought they did.
Yeah, just rampant speculation.
Thank goodness, or else I would have been a wreck the rest of the day. True love is not real.
My heart was just beating when I thought it was true. Who cares? Where is Bill Belichick going? Yeah, did you guys read up on that?
He's not going anywhere, correct? Has he found a job?
He has not gone anywhere yet. And it was rumored that he was going to go to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I don't think that's the case now. They just hired a new offensive
Raheem
coordinator.
Morris, I think, is their
head coach. Yeah, Raheem Morris, and then they hired a new offensive coordinator in No, sorry. Their former one is now with the Steelers, which is the weirdest move of all time because they went from a bad offensive coordinator in Matt Canada, who everybody hated, and they got rid of him, to now it's going to be Arthur Blank, and everybody hates him because he didn't use Bijan Robinson enough. So, bad to worse.
Okay, I have to ask you a question.
Fire away.
Because I'm reading this from The Wire.
Okay.
How do you spell his last name? Isn't his name Belichick?
It looks like Belichick.
Oh, it is Belichick.
Yep.
But he pronounced it Belichick.
Yeah. Kind of just same with the Kelce thing. I think it used to be Belichick, but then just through people saying it and mainstream stuff, people have now morphed it into Belichick.
Oh, okay. So that is Chick is how you spell it.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, okay. I never knew that. I thought it was Belichick because that's how everybody says it. When is Martin Luther King's birthday? Martin Luther King Day is always the third Monday of January. This year, that also happened to be his real birthday, which is January 15th, which is very nice. Happens on a Monday every year, so the 15th. What happened to Martin Lawrence? What did happen to Martin Lawrence? That's a good question.
The actor?
Yeah.
Actor, comedian. Did something actually happen to him, or are they just questioning why he's no longer making movies or comedy specials?
Yeah, I don't know. What happened to Martin Lawrence? He was in a throwback segment at the Emmys, and fans were worried after he seemed to slur his words a little. He's had some health issues in the past, but people in his camp say he's fine, and recently wrapped Bad Boys 4 with Will Smith on June 14th.
Yeah.
I have not seen Martin Lawrence was everywhere for a while. Now you never see him anymore.
No, he doesn't do as much. I don't think he does stand up anymore. And once he had kids, he kind of scaled it back a little bit. But yeah, Bad Boys 4. Let's go. I'm so ready.
At this point, can we change it to just bad men?
Yeah.
You're no longer boys. Come on now.
Yeah, well, that's true. Number one thing that happened in the month of January, who won the Golden Globes 2024, and who gives a shit? Do you care who won the Golden Globes?
No, it's I couldn't tell you who won them last year or the Oscars. It's a cool event. I can appreciate while it happens, but I'm not holding my breath and getting upset about anything.
I care to an extent. I've the one awards that I do is the Academy Awards, the Oscars and whatnot. That's the one I really like. I watch a lot of movies, so I feel like I have a pretty decent opinion on a lot of stuff. I don't have as much when it comes to everything involved with the Golden Globes because I feel like it spans more than just my normal viewing. So
yeah.
But I know we have Kristyn Burtt who cares quite a bit.
She cares about that kind of stuff. We'll do that with the lead, man. Who won the Golden Globes 2024? They were January 7th, and obviously lots of people won awards, but the biggest winner this year was Oppenheimer. We'll take a break, be right back, and ask the expert, Kristyn Burtt, right after this.
Tom here, and I want to discuss a partnership that has been wonderful in my life, Zero Res Carpet Care. Very good friends of mine. Nothing is better to someone with a family than having a completely clean home. Your carpet is the biggest filter in your house. If you want to talk about pet dander or foot traffic, dirt from the outside, they all eventually reside in your carpet. So, Zero Res Carpet Care. Listen, around the holidays, you need to contact ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 952-ZEROREZ. That's 952-ZERO-RES. They clean your home with their electrolyzed pH-elevated water that doesn't use chemicals or soaps that smell like a janitor's closet like other cleaning services. How about a Tom Barnard deal? Well, here it is. Get 3 rooms, zero resified, starting at $129, and don't forget your air ducts. Mention me, and they'll discount your air vents by $75 too. This is for the entire month, so call them right now, 952-0-RES, backward or forwarded, spells the same, or book online, ZeroResMinnesota.com. If it's available, ask for them to come to your place in the Tom Barnard named service truck. What an honor that was, by the way. Just mention me by name and get the special deal to get your home clean and your heart happy. Zero Res Carpet.
Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC has a mutiny on his hands. His sales crew said they've had it brooming snow off the new Buicks and GMCs, then warm them up, move them to plow, and repark them again. He even overheard them cooking up an alternative plan. A sale.
This is crazy. Why don't we just mark them down and sell them?
This is getting real old to be out on that lot in this sub-zero weather.
That's right. Everyone we sell is one less to broom.
I heard we're supposed to get 6 more inches tomorrow.
I'm 5'6". How am I supposed to get the snow off the roof of a pickup?
I'm Jim Paul, and well, car dealers do have all kinds of crazy sales. This idea probably makes more sense than most. There's plenty of inventory, so okay, the crew has decided.
So then it's official. The We Don't Want to Broom snow sale is in full force at Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings. Snowy inventory priced real right at valleycardealers.com.
The Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like North American Banking Company, Bradshaw and Bryant, and attorney and advertiser Dave Bielke.
I've been advertising on Tom Barnard shows for years. I like Tom, not just because he's a good guy, but because the ads I run on his show bring me new clients that are hurt at work and need legal help. Tommy B works for me.
If you'd like to find out more about growing your business with the Tom Barnard Show, go to tombarnardshow.com, keyword partner.
There you have it.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You horn tootin'. Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Kristyn, how are you?
Doing well. Big day for entertainment news. There's a lot to talk about, which I love.
What's the latest?
What's the latest? Well, I know you were talking about the Golden Globes and why people should care. Let me tell you why people should care. Jobs. There was, and let me give you this number because it's kind of astonishing. They're talking about how many jobs are going to be replaced by AI within the next 3 years. You ready for this?
Oh, God.
I'm going to get my glasses on so I can get the actual number. So it's estimated about 204,000 positions will be adversely affected.
Oh.
Yes. And the biggest jobs that are going to be affected: sound engineers, voice actors, concept artists, employees in entry-level positions, visual effects, and post-production work, as well as animation. Jeffrey Katzenberg said that tech will replace 90% of the jobs on animated films.
Oh my gosh.
That's terrible.
Isn't that shocking? Like, when I was reading this, I was like, are you kidding me? That's an astonishing number.
Has it began already? Because I feel like people have noticed a decline in, like, Disney's newest animated film. I think it's called Wish. Like, they're just looking at, like, the songs compared to the one that has been, like, touted as, like, the main number from this one. And they're just like, it's a noticeable decline in quality.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it'll be interesting to see, like, if you have 90% of technology doing the work, is that going to lose sort of that human touch, that connection we felt to Pixar films, to Disney films and things like that? Because there is something, we all know that, like, a hand-drawn film, like the classic Disney films, don't even look the same to, let's say, The Little Mermaid when they brought in some technology. So I think we're starting to see it, and it's going to happen rapidly.
Does not surprise me at all, because you know why it doesn't surprise me?
Why?
Because Hollywood has always tried to put itself forward as the most giving and loving, and we're here to help people. And it's always been 100% bullshit, and we all know it is. These people are going to get screwed just like they've screwed everybody else.
Well, here's the thing, though. We have to remember that it's technology. So it's Silicon Valley that disrupted Hollywood. And Hollywood was like, yeah, come on in. And that's what wound up happening. They didn't realize that they were basically being eaten up by another industry until it was too late.
Look, we've all been through this. At the beginning of this show, they said, you're going to have to work with AJ and Tevin. I went, I don't even know who they are. I guess and now look what happened.
Are they eating you up?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, AJ's starting to take over. Yeah, it's gonna be the AJ morning show after. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that stuff. I will tell you what, that Biden voice that was used when he was supposedly calling people and it wasn't really him, it sounded exactly like him. Yeah, I was shocked.
It's so easy. You know, this next election year, and I will say that this is tied into, and I don't want to get into politics, but I just want to talk about, like, the overarching, like, look and concerns everyone should have. Journalism has had so many layoffs in the past 2 weeks. We're talking major outlets, whether they're entertainment, sports, political. this is concerning because it offers all of us less perspectives. It offers all of us less accurate news, especially as we move into an election year. And the ability for technology to spoof Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or whoever else is in that election cycle is scary. And everyone should be hyper aware and making sure that they are reading accurate sources.
There you go. It's going to be very, very difficult because you would think that somebody who's been in a voiceover business and radio and podcast and all that, that I'd be able to tell. I've listened to a few. There is no way I could tell the difference. Not a chance.
No.
Yeah. And with the kind of AI taking all of these jobs, I assume the next kind of either actors strike or contract negotiation is going to be absolutely bananas, because if you're cutting a lot of these jobs, well, they're not going to be charging less to make movies. I'm assuming prices are still going to be going up, and up, and that money is going back into, like a producer's pocket and not necessarily going to the actors and paying the people that are still there more, right?
Yeah, and that's why you see a lot of actors going, I am a producer now too, because it's the only way they're making money, other than making brand deals and going, I have an alcohol brand now, I have a fashion brand, whatever it is, because making money off of Hollywood solely as your sole part of income doesn't exist anymore. Does not exist.
I wonder if there are voices that they can't replicate. Because some people have like 3 different tones in their voice. Would that make it hard? No, it still is just that easy, huh?
Yeah. And it's, the technology is not like exactly there yet, but every day that passes, it gets a little bit better.
And I would say too, where it's like you can not even necessarily creating like, okay, we're going to exactly create Tom's voice, but you can now just use a computer to say, I want a voice that's got this much raspiness and this much this. So even if you can do things maybe that a normal person wouldn't be able to do unless they're, a hyper trained professional.
Yeah, and what they're doing even with like stand-up comedians, they're entering their work into AI to get like sort of the flavor and the feel of like what it's like to, a Dave Chappelle type of voice. So, again, it's not exactly spot on yet, but they're starting to understand that language. And, even that AI project that I worked on for the news broadcast, they were able to have me speak in multiple different languages. I speak English fluently and very broken Spanish. But they had me speaking Japanese in my voice. So understand that the technology is there. And so that's the other scary thing. Like you can have me speaking and doing a Japanese commercial per se, if they went and took my AI likeness. And there you go. I don't speak a lick of Japanese. I don't even know what I'm saying.
Did they use Kiyo Sakamoto's voice?
They used my voice.
Do you remember Kiyo
But they had my
Sakamoto?
permission because I worked solely on this project. But think about it when they're out there and, doing something against your will. I mean, Taylor Swift just dealt with it. They had AI images of her in porn.
You know what? You just made me a very happy man. Because when I called Cumulus and told them to go F themselves, I can say, oh, it wasn't me. It was somebody else using my
Somebody
voice.
else. It was somebody else.
It was somebody else.
Don't blame me.
Honest to God, there's going to be that, that's going to happen. I was not the one that threatened you. It was an AI voice that threatened you.
Somehow it came from your phone number.
I don't know how it happened.
Phone numbers too. That technology is there.
I know. Oh my God, we shouldn't be telling people this. They're going to turn on all of us.
There, you know what? The computers are all turning on all of us. If anyone remembers, and I think it was somewhere around 1983. It's an old movie with Matthew Broderick, and I believe it's Helen Hunt, called War Games, where the computers turn against you. It's happening. It's happening.
There's no question about it. And like I said, I listened to that. There is no way I would not have known that was Joe Biden. Did you guys listen to it?
No, I haven't actually listened to the tape, but I heard, like you're saying, that it sounds exactly like Joe Biden.
Yeah, I heard a snippet. They played it on the news, and it was like, just based off of like what he was saying, you have to, I don't know, you have to be smarter than the president's going to not tell you just like, don't just ignore the polls this time around. Just forget about it. Like, come on, he's not going to call you and say that.
Yeah.
Why not?
because he wants votes.
Right. The main thing is he's not called. Like if I answered the phone and it was, I don't care if it sounded exactly like Joe Biden or Donald Trump. What you calling me for?
Yeah,
exactly. Absolutely.
I don't even answer my phone. Mine's like a robo voicemail, and I never pick up my phone anyway.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. We shall see. I haven't even looked at the polls lately. Has anybody got a big lead or anything for the presidency or
No, and I don't care. It's so many months ahead of time. I don't, because it's like it's January and so many things can happen between now and November. We haven't locked in the two, contenders either. So even though we think we know, we don't know. There's a lot of things in play that I'm like, this is going to be a wild year. So
Grammys are coming up though, right? Is that right around the corner?
Grammys are on Sunday the next couple of weeks. You got Grammys this week, and then you've got Super Bowl the next week. So I think there's going to be a lot of fun stuff. And the Grammys, it's always a good show. It's just like one big concert.
Yeah.
Why is it called the Grammys?
I don't know. We'd have to go and look up the history of the Grammys. We do have, I want to say, if anyone comes to visit Los Angeles and has the opportunity, if they're big music fans, we have the Grammys Museum here in downtown LA, and it's spectacular. So for anyone that is a music lover, that's one to look.
It's the gramophone, which is like revolutionary for the music industry.
Sure, the gramophone.
That makes sense.
The big speaker, the big cone speaker.
What the trophy is?
Yeah, it's
the gramophone.
Yeah, exactly.
That totally makes sense.
Well, it does indeed.
Unlike the Oscars, which they don't necessarily even have the actual, like there's a couple stories out there of why it's called Oscar. Like some people said it looked like their Uncle Oscar, and I know.
Your Uncle Oscar is a very boring person if he looks like Oscar. I'll tell you that.
Generic, isn't he?
Pretty generic, I would say that. No question about that. Kristyn, I don't know what I'm going to do. There are so many good new shows on. Now, we watched the last episode of Reacher Season 2 last night. A really, really good show.
Can I talk about what's on tonight? Because there's a great show.
No, you're out of the mix. Forget it.
Yes, no, because everyone needs to watch it. We've got Feud is back. Ryan Murphy's Feud. If anyone saw the very first anthology he did, this time around he's doing Truman Capote. The first one was just Betty Davis versus Joan Crawford, by the way, which was excellent. This one is Truman Capote and the Swans, and it's about 6 very rich women that were his best friends, and he turned against them because he started spilling the tea on all of them. But it's an incredible cast. You've got Diane Lane, Callista Flockhart, Demi Moore, Naomi Watts. This is also Treat Williams' last project before he passed away. Remember, he was in that terrible accident.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I've seen the first 2 preview episodes. Both of them dropped tonight. It's on FX and Hulu. Go watch it. It's really fun.
Can you reveal who his next door neighbor was as a kid?
I don't.
You don't know who it was?
No.
Look it up quickly before you go. He had a very famous next door neighbor. As a matter of fact, it's even said that in some of, I will say, her books, the smallest character, the 4 or 5-year-old, was always based on Truman Capote. What do you think of that action? You find
Harper
anything?
Lee.
Harper Lee. There you go.
Lee.
Harper Lee was his next door neighbor. What do you think of that action?
That's interesting. They both become literary geniuses.
They did. Well, you don't even have to back off on the word genius. They both were geniuses. There's no doubt about that. So what else is happening, sister?
The other big thing is that Byron Allen, I feel like he keeps on coming up. He has re-entered the chat. He just dropped a huge bid to buy Paramount.
Yes, right.
We thought it was going to be Warner Brothers. We thought it was going to be Skydance, but now Byron Allen's coming in, and it's interesting. I was reading an article about it, and Eddie Murphy was saying, never ever underestimate Byron Allen. He plays the long game of chess. He's very patient and comes in for the kill. And he's looking to make a big move with networks. He's been trying, he tried to buy ABC. He's tried to buy BET. He is really trying to make a move to have some type of global presence in the network game.
Right.
His offer was $14 billion.
$14 billion. So he's got some big backers behind him. But this may be the winning bid. I'm curious if this plays out. This will be really fascinating.
Would he get along with Taylor Sheridan?
It doesn't matter. He's going to be the head honcho.
I know, but Taylor Sheridan's that whole channel now.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he wants to sit there and continue the relationship, because I mean, Taylor Sheridan's currently propping the network up.
Yes,
absolutely. But I think that Byron Allen will also bring his own flavor to the network. And listen, his shows, he made so much money in syndication when syndication was big. That's why I say don't ever count him out. And I actually kind of hope he wins, because I think that this would be better than Paramount folding into Warner Brothers. Because it's too many networks all in one at that point.
I agree. All right. Great way to wrap it up. Now we look forward to your next report tomorrow. That stinger you delivered at the last minute. We'll be thinking about it all day until you're on tomorrow.
What stinger am I delivering today?
I mean, all this interesting news you just gave
Oh,
us.
I thought I was giving you a stinger.
No.
What did I do today to offend you?
Well, it's every day, so I'm used to it.
Every day.
Every day. I can't worry about it anymore.
And tomorrow we'll talk about ABC, because ABC is bringing back all its shows. Abbott Elementary is coming back next week. So exciting.
That is
Lots of good stuff happening.
Why ABC rather than the other ones?
Well, everyone's bringing them back on their own time. Like we talked a lot about NBC. They've brought back a lot of their mid-season shows already. ABC is now they're on more of a February debut for all of these. But the trailer for Abbott Elementary is already out, so go watch it. So you guys are ready for tomorrow.
It is
and
a good
Feud.
show.
Watch Feud tonight. Don't miss it.
We'll get it done, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
See ya.
Thanks a lot. Family shows up in about 15 minutes.